up.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Dumbass of the day. Right now, it's brought to you by our friends at Peterson's U-Cart. They're in A-Town. Spring is right around the corner. And Peterson's U-Cart in Atascadero has everything you need to make your outdoor space amazing. Check out their selection of landscape supplies, pipe, and concrete online at peterson.com.
How pathetic can some people be?
Asian girls are going out with, like, white guys, black guys. You know? Everybody but Asian guys. You know, like, what's going to happen to Asian guys? They're going to go extinct or something? I feel bad. Like, I feel bad they're all single, but, like, not bad enough to date them. Like, last week, this Asian guy asked me out, and I was just like, geez, when are they going to realize that Asian girls are just way out of their league? And my girlfriends, they're always asking me, they're like, how do you stay so skinny? And I always tell them, just do what we do, you know? Eat with chopsticks. Because we can't pick much up with those things either. Actually, I don't even know how to use chopsticks. Like, I'm completely American. I was born here. I mean, I'm so American, I'm against immigration. Because I'm here already. And I ordered Chinese yesterday, and a Mexican guy delivered it. I was like, what is going on here? This is crazy. They're taking all of our jobs.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
What you said last week that that South Korea they're in a baby crisis. Like nobody wants to have babies. They're now offering financial incentives.
No. Well, it wasn't that they didn't want to have babies. It's just that so many more people died the year before than were born that the government came out and said, listen, we're losing people fast. Mm-hmm. We've got a stimulus plan for you. And they were going to give families that had 3 kids or more $100,000. If you had 2 kids, you were going to get that $100,000, but you'd have to pay back 70 of it. You would get pretty much $30,000 then. And if you had 1 kid, you would get the $100,000. You'd have to pay it back, but they wouldn't charge you any interest.
I think I found maybe a reason why people aren't having babies. Maybe they're a little offended by what the city government of Seoul posted in recent days.
The South Korea Seoul?
Yeah. They posted advice for expectant mothers, and it was guidelines that told women how to keep their man around when becoming pregnant and after having the baby.
Oh, can you email me that? I need to send it to my wife.
Guidelines said, do plenty of housework, stay slim, and hang pre-pregnancy clothes around the house as motivation for the man to stay with you.
Pre-pregnancy clothes?
When you were skinny.
Oh, God.
Another nugget that they added to this was buy a hairband so you don't look so disheveled after having the baby. Put your hair up and back. The guidelines also advised women that before they head to the hospital to give birth, they should prep meals for their spouses who might be unfamiliar with cooking.
What is this, the 50s?
Also to lay
1955?
To lay out clean underwear for their husbands to tide them over until she gets back from the hospital. So 4 to 5 days worth of clean underwear.
Because he's not able to get his own clean underwear?
Yeah. Apparently the women does. It goes back to the 50s era in the United States.
That's pretty crazy.
In South Korea. And this is probably why people are like, I don't want to have a baby. Too much work.
I have to.
Because it takes 2 to tango.
Get a hairband.
Just because the man might want a baby.
I have to hang my old clothes around the house.
I like my hair down. I don't want to have a baby.
Clothes.
Oh, wait, gosh. Should I hang my clothes around the house? Kidding me? They got a lot of pushback. The city government says it picked up the guidelines from the nation's
even in South Korea, huh?
Ministry of Health and Welfare, but now admits that it neglected to thoroughly vet the information. And we'll make sure that something like this does not happen again. I mean, come on. Maybe the nation's Ministry of Health and Welfare needs to have that office reviewed as well. I mean, that is...
Can you imagine?
Baby problems in South Korea.
If it was here, in California.
Oh, my God.
They'd burn it down.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like telling people that they can't get together with their family to sing and you have a meal or something like that. Just saying. I don't know. Congratulations to the city government of Seoul, South Korea. You are Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Don't be a dummy when it comes to your landscape supplies. Go to Peterson U-Cart on Gusta Road, just north of Quickie Car Wash in Atascadero.
We load, you cart, you save.
Cynthia writes in on the 805 beer text lines. She needs to properly chill. She's looking to have properly chilled water. The problem is it's sitting outside.
Well, wouldn't it chill if it's outside?
Yeah. Well, right now, I guess. Depending on where you live.
If it's early in the morning, it still gets pretty cold.
She says, I heard you guys talking about tips a couple weeks ago, and we talked to some people that were tipped. The propane guy, I can't believe how much the propane guy makes in tips.
Yeah, he does RVs, and he gets tipped out pretty well.
He was like, yeah, I got a $100 tip today. I'm like, what? I'm in the wrong business, man. I need to be filling propane tanks. And then there was the flip side of the story.
Mike, the landscaper.
Yeah, Mike and that's what started it all off. He said he'd been mowing a lady's yard for 40 years, and he's never got a tip.
Never, not once.
Yeah, the only tip I can expect from her is not to get a tip.
At that point, I mean, for 40 years, I would just stop even holding out hope. Now, Cindy writes in, and she says she thinks she's upset her water guy. She didn't even think to tip him. Now, I don't know if the water guy is somebody you tip. We have a water guy. He brings all our water in here. I don't know if the general manager gives him anything at the end of the year. I have no idea. He comes in with a hand truck
full of water bottles
with like 8 bottles stacked up on it.
It's the big office one, the big.
Yeah, and he's got
5 gallons in there.
He's got to get on an elevator with this hand truck.
Thank God we have an elevator. Otherwise, you have to haul it up hand by hand.
I would quit. I wouldn't do it if I was him.
Got a lot of stairs.
You're talking about the guy yesterday moving box from a storage unit to another storage unit, walking the box while the other guy loading him up in a truck. She says that he used to bring the water jugs in the house for her. But now, since she didn't even think that was a tippable job, she's noticed that he just leaves them outside, not properly chilling.
Probably because of COVID.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because, you're not supposed to go into somebody's house, right?
Now
what does she think?
Do you think it's a convenient excuse on behalf of the water?
Well, it's easier. Hey, yeah. I mean, heck, I
like the time the gas guy said he couldn't turn my gas on because there was a bush and there might be a spider on the bush.
That's ridiculous. Make sure you tip that guy, the meter reader. Do we tip the meter reader?
No. They take money from you.
I don't think you're supposed to. Well, I mean, I guess if the guy is bringing the water in the house, you tip him, right? Because that's kind of going above and beyond. But if he's just dropping it off at the porch, then I'm sorry, no tip.
Right, but
he's getting paid to bring that water to my house.
Now if she should retroactively tip him so he'll bring the water jugs in the house because she doesn't want to bring the water jugs in anymore.
Can't we just have this conversation? Can't she just go up to the guy and go, hey,
notice that you used
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam,
that would be
I noticed you used to bring the water in the house and
name.
you're not doing it anymore. Is there a reason for that? Oh, yeah, because of COVID. Well, would you still bring it in the house if I gave you a tip? Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't know if you can have that conversation.
I can't. It's against company policy. But as soon as this is over and we get the vaccines and everybody's, not going to get COVID, then I'll bring it back.
Then it's an excuse at that point. I'm like, come on.
What's the excuse? I mean, Sam's making the excuse?
But here's the deal, okay?
Sam, the water guy?
Here's the thing. You got to think. COVID hit in March. Water bottles were coming in all the way till December. Tip was not left in December. Now water bottles are on the front porch. So you're going to say that the first 9 months of the pandemic, it wasn't a policy, but now that I haven't tipped you, it's all of a sudden a policy?
Yeah, I would make sure. My first question to her is this the same water guy? If it just all of a sudden changed. But if it is the same water guy, then yeah, say, hey, listen, hey, I noticed you don't bring it in anymore. Is it because I didn't give you a Christmas tip?
What if you just give the tip and say, "Oh, I forgot to give this to you at Christmas time. Things were hectic. Things were busy. Here's your tip." And see if the water bottles start coming inside.
But what if they don't? What if now you just gave them the tip and they still leaving it on the front porch? You haven't accomplished your goal.
You've set the precedent.
Be honest.
You've set the precedent that you're fine with the.
Don't be scared.
Because why would you tip somebody for leaving them out, for giving you less service than what he used to give you?
See, that's the problem. People try to get fancy and then you end up screwing yourself. You got to just be direct with people. People like it when you're direct.
What's the deal with the water?
It's okay if it's a little awkward.
That's all you have to have. You don't even have to take it to the next level with the tip conversation. You'd be like, "Hey," since you dubbed him Sam, how come you're not?
It's a good name, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great guy. For a delivery driver,
Sam.
all delivery drivers that are male should be named Sam, and all delivery drivers that are females should be Samantha. and you go and you're like, "Say, Sam, how come the bottles used to come inside? Now they're not coming inside." Or and just see what he says. See if he says, "Well, COVID or tip or I don't know. I just decided to start."
Now let me ask
outside.
you the other side of it. If you're Sam,
Water bottles are heavy.
If you're Sam and you get confronted by this young lady and she says, "Hey, what's going on here? You don't bring them in anymore. Are you really?" And it's really because of the tip. You probably have an excuse already because this isn't the first house that didn't tip yet.
My excuse for everything's COVID. Jerry.
Yeah, it's COVID.
Ask my kids.
It's COVID. But what if it isn't the truth? What if they say it's COVID, but it really isn't? It's because you didn't tip them because you were cheap. I have a friend who goes to somebody to get their hair cut, and they go to their house.
Mm-hmm.
And
are they allowed to do that?
No, I think it's under the radar, and they're paying them cash for the haircuts, right? Mm-hmm. And the haircut costs a certain amount, but then this person is tipping them on top of it. Mm-hmm. But he's noticed the last, 5-6 times he's gone, he's not getting quite the same service that he used to get. He's getting his haircut, but he's not getting the wash.
Yeah, but he's going
he used
to
get a wash,
house.
a blow dry, and a style.
The infrastructure in somebody's house is a lot different than the
infrastructure
at a hair salon. He used to get
the wash and the blow dry and the style at this person's house, but all of a sudden now the person just cuts his hair and he leaves. But he's still tipping.
You're thinking that, well, because they set the precedent with the tip. You can't. Well, but your friend, who I'm pretty sure is you.
It's my friend, Jeff.
But your friend should dial it back a little bit. Tip a little less.
I don't know what my friend should do.
Still tip, but then tip a little less. Like, I don't know what the standard tip is, but
it's $5.
Oh, God. You can't dial that back, you cheapskate. Your friend.
For a haircut? $5 isn't enough for a haircut?
No, it's not enough. What's a haircut typically cost?
Okay, this person gets their haircut in 15 minutes. That's how long it takes to cut their hair. 15.
What is
the person goes twice.
What is the charge?
Every 2 weeks.
What is the charge on the haircut?
$20.
$20?
20%.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think $5 is fine.
But should you be tipping someone?
Given the fact that I know it's not your friend and you got a very easy haircut.
It's my friend.
You have a very easy haircut.
His name is Sam.
Accomplish.
His name is Sam, too.
And he's a delivery driver.
No, he's not. He's an engineer, or an architect. I can't remember, but whatever.
I know you. You don't have friends.
My thing is, my friend Sam, the engineer architect, goes to get his haircut.
How often?
At a person's house.
How often? Is it like
every 2 weeks?
Every 11 days?
Every 2 weeks. And when he gets his haircut, it takes 15 minutes. The haircut is $20, but he's always tipped $5 more, and he's tipped $25.
Well, the problem with
all of a sudden, in the last 4 or 5 times he's got a haircut, he's not getting his hair. It's just a quick clip and go, and it's like
what your
$25.
Friend should do is your friend should dial it back to $3. The $3 tip, the stripper tip. You bring out the ones, and you get the.
I guess he Venmos. Everything's Venmo now. Nobody does stripper. Does strippers take Venmo?
Easier. That's easier because then they don't have to see it and process it and be like, why are you only tipping me $3 this time? They'll know. They'll be like, that's weird. Usually pays me $25 through the Venmo. Now, Jeremy's friend is only paying me $23 through the Venmo.
His name's Sam.
Sam's only paying me $23 from the Venmo. What am I doing differently? Just like, but see, the problem is, girl did not tip water guy at all. So now he doesn't have to do anything. And that's got to go back to Mike, who didn't get a tip for 40 years.
I would just cancel the water and go somewhere else, kid. You just start over. Start fresh.
Well, it depends on how
and start
important
tipping
it is,
from the beginning.
how important it is that the water comes into the house.
Your thoughts are always welcome. 805-543-3693. Those are the 805 beer lines, reminding you to properly chill with an 805beer.com.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Good morning. Thanks for hanging out with us. That's Jeff over there. This is Jeremy here talking to you. 805-543-3693 are the numbers to get through. We're going to get to some of your texts and comments coming up off the 805 beer lines about the tipping situation.
And I think
in
this
a
raises a bigger question, and we're going to make it the poll question today. And that is, how do you feel service industries have done since the pandemic? Do you think they've done a better job of providing service, or they've sat back and did the old Jeff and and decided to rest on the laurels of the whole COVID? You get what you get.
I'm surprised in the windows where we've been able to go out to eat, and trust me, we go out to eat, and it's my New Year's resolution is not to go out to eat so much, because it's so easy when you're both working. Well, you understand, and you're lazy, because I'm lazy and I don't want to make dinner, that I'll have my wife either pick up food or we go out to eat. I haven't noticed a difference in the service, and in some instances I think it's worse, but it's definitely not better.
Okay,
I can't say, but then there's other instances, for example, like I've gone and I've gotten takeout from a restaurant that my wife and I used to always go to almost weekly. That, there's been, the manager comes out and says, "Hey, nice to see you, Jeremy. Thanks for supporting us. Hey, by the way, I threw this in your bag because I appreciate that and so I have gotten that.
But overall, now, this is a poll question, so, I guess you could take into consideration the places you go to most, and chances are you're going to go back to the places that have good service. So those are probably the places that you go to most, like, Cynthia might probably change her water service as a result of Sam not bringing the bottles in.
There's a lot of options around here
for water.
Yeah, there's a few.
I couldn't tell you one.
Well, I know two.
Well, I guess I could, because we have it out there. Culligan.
Yeah.
Culligan's one because
Crystal.
Crystal, what's Crystal?
Crystal Springs or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, so you don't know the name.
I've seen the trucks driving around. Crystal Springs, I think.
You got it. Word to the wise.
They've been around forever. Remember that Julia used to date that guy that worked there.
You want to get Jeremy's attention?
Remember Julia?
Name your company one word. Okay. That's how you're going to get Jeremy's attention.
It's Crystal Springs Water, Jeff.
Okay, there you go. Did you just look it up?
No.
Did you just Google?
No, I think I made it up. I don't know. I think it's Crystal Springs Water.
But anyways,
I don't know why you have to have the full name.
No, I don't. I want my options, I guess. Which one is going to bring my water in without me leaving a tip? That's what I want to know. Pass it along to Cynthia. 805 beer text lines, right?
Yeah, crystalsprings.com is it.
Okay.
They're here in Slow.
All right. There's two options for you, Cynthia.
Or they used to be.
But we want to know this morning is how do you feel service industries overall have done since the pandemic started? Now, I think for the most part, it's what you just described with the place that you go to often. Like, they go above and beyond because they want you to come in, one. And I'm thinking mainly restaurants here. Because they want you to come in because that you're keeping them afloat. So they're going to go above and beyond to make sure that you're getting what you need. I mean, in some instances, they have guys that are working for their staff, doing deliveries, running stuff out to the curb. In instances in which places have been open, in these little windows in which places have been open. I mean, think about having to wear this for 8 hours a day.
It puts you in a bad mood.
While running
makes you lazy,
around.
I think. Does it make you lazy to have to wear the mask because you don't want to work? I'm sorry to use the word lazy, but I mean, it doesn't get you excited about doing extra and going above and beyond. See, that's where I've noticed it is not as good. Department stores, grocery stores, these kind of places, they don't have the staff, and the staff that they do have, I think they have them running around like crazy. Mm-hmm. So the service just can't be what it used to be, without naming any. But then there's other stores, like we talked to that guy about the people at Target that go get your stuff and bring it out to your car. Like that's come on,
I feel
that's
like
a win-win.
I think those people should be tipped. I mean, It has become so popular, Jeremy.
I'll tip them because I don't want to go in the store, and they've saved me from having to go in.
During the busy times, like during the holidays, it has become so popular because people are lazy. Okay, it's not a COVID thing. It's you're lazy if you're getting the service done. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to say that you're not putting your health first equates to lazy. But in most instances, like in the instance that my wife forwards me an email and I could just go in and pick up that stuff, I feel like a lazy ass when I go out and I pull up to the Target thing. They have teams of people out there running stuff in, running.
Are they
stuff
allowing
out.
you to go in too?
Yes.
Is that an option?
Yes.
So you don't have to be lazy.
No, I can go in.
Well,
I tell my wife when she sends me the email.
But it's better for you, and it's better for everybody that's in the store for you to stay in the car and let them bring it to you. During a pandemic like this,
is that a convenient
with something
excuse?
that'll spread. No, but think about it. At the end of the day, we should separate, right? And the more you separate, the better off you are. So don't feel so bad about it.
Really? Because I feel as if though it's a convenient excuse.
What if you
for
went
me to
in
be
there
lazy.
and you went in there and you got COVID and then you gave it to your wife and your kids and then they gave it to everybody? But if you just stayed in your car and you never would have got it, look at all the people you saved from getting sick. So you can look at it that way. That's what the news would tell you.
That's what the convenient excuse is.
Doom, doom, doom. 805-543-3693.
Did you say doom, doom, doom?
Sorry, I was doing the NBC, but it was doom. That's our SurfNet Communications poll question, getting you connected with speeds faster than DSL or satellite, especially in rural areas. SurfNet Communications, the leader in rural broadband internet. Their link is next to the daily poll right now at kzoz.com. Let us know what you think.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.